Welcome to stage 4 of the Tour of Austria. It is the Queen stage and arguably the race-defining day today. With a brutal elevation, relentless gradients and over 3,000 meters of climbing. Yeah, this is going to be a deciding moment for the general classification. We are happy to have you guys all back here, and we try to provide you with all the informations we got. And good morning to everyone who just streamed in and is part of that streaming, of that broadcasting over a few hours today. Fabian, good morning. Also happy to have you here again.
Hello, and also warm welcome from my side. Yeah, as you just said, Innsbruck, start of today's stage with tons of climbing up to Kühtai. They actually do the Kühtai twice. One of the most iconic climbs around the city of Innsbruck, and we are looking forward to today's action.
Seeing the start list one more time here with number 1 Felix Großschartner, who is in a not so comfortable lead in the GC, just 6 seconds ahead of Isaac del Toro, which is going to be today for sure, as I said, a deciding moment for the GC. Yesterday's stage was incredible. We had everything. We had rain, we had breakaways, we had an intense mountaintop finish, and today it is even more intense, and it is truly tailor-made for the pure climbers of that Tour of Austria.
But the weather has changed, so today they actually have nicer weather. The sun is not fully out yet, but it will probably be come midday, and there is only the road ahead, so we will see.
Yeah, just to look a little bit on the stats of that stage here. There are 117.3k to go and 3,500 meters in elevation gain. We do have 2 ORS categories in it, which means are the highest categories of the mountain classifications, which provides them, the athletes, with 15, 10, 8, 6 and 4 points in that category. And also we do have 1, it is the last one, with 12, 8, 6, 4 and 2 are category 1 to the Kühtai BERGBAHNEN. That track, you've said, going up to the legendary Kühtai, and it is also well known for something special called the Kühtai Rodeo. And you, as a local, you probably know every centimeter on that track up there. You can probably tell us a little bit more of that stage coming up today.
Yes, so as the Innsbruck community calls it, is this the Kühtai Rodeo. So you can actually climb the Kühtai up from 3 sides. So we do 2 climbs of these today. So the first one is up from Commentar, the HC climb with 23 kilometers of climbing. The second one is where we descend today down to ÖTZ. So on the Rodeo you usually climb up from ÖTZ again, and then last but not least the famous SATTELE climb with 1,000 meters of climbing and an average of 10%. And most parts even higher than 12%.
So and then it is the last one, Kühtai BERGBAHNEN, 5.9k, 428 meters in elevation gain, with an average of 7.1%, maxing out to 18.5%. So it is an intense one. Seeing Patrick Conrad here in the lower section of the screen, chatting with some spectators here at the Eduard Wallnöfer-Platz. It is right in front of the State House of Tyrol. Stefan Amenini, we are also able to see here. He is the race director at the Tour of Austria. And yeah, A lot of people are here. At 11 o'clock, we are about to start that second last stage of the Tour of Austria. Felix Großschartner, we can see here, chatting with a rider from EF Education, Easy Post, and Emanuel Zangerle, who is for sure also trying to grab that first come at GÖTZENS with that 3.8K you said, and it is a category 3 classification here, which probably gives him a good headspace in front of Nikolai Vinokurov.
It will be an intense battle again for sure. I mean, the first climb is the shortest one on paper, but I think there will be some fireworks already early on for that KOM jersey.
And they for sure have to be committed right from the start on, 6 seconds. Just the advantage for Felix Großschartner.
On his teammate.
On his teammate, you can see here.
On the left.
On the... Here we have them with the jerseys.
So
Ineos, we can see Team Vorarlberg, UAE, and Tyrol, KTM Tyrol.
And today we are live from the start, so you will see the whole stage live here on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do have a neutralized start, rolling through Innsbruck, through the capital of the province Tyrol. And then after 4.6 kilometers, the race gets really started then.
It's not an easy start today.
For sure not.
The whole stage is kept super short, but it will be very punchy. So after the first climb, we will have some flatter sections up the valley, Inntal Valley to TELFS. We have 2 intermediate sprint competitions there.
One in INZING and one in TELFS. And then we are circling back towards Innsbruck, but then having a right turn up to Oberbelfuss, and then starting the first real and deciding climb, 23 kilometers. The tension is for sure high there.
Markus Schrettel on the right with the best Austrian jersey, next to Isaac Del Toro in the sprint competition jersey.
In the green jersey, then Felix in the leading jersey in the red one, then Emanuel Zangerle in the mountain classification journey, and in the best rookie jersey, the black and white one from Ineos Grenadier.
August Andrew.
Or Andrew August.
Andrew August. So the month is the second name.
Yeah, month is the second name. And this is it, the neutralized start of the fourth stage of the Tour of Austria. And they are rolling out the Eduard Wallnöfer Platz. Here we have Filippo Baroncini with number 2. Then from Jaco Elula, Asbjørn Ellemose, Team Vorarlberg, Colin Stüssi, and with number 13,
And
Sean
as you can
Leonard.
see, we have a lot of spectators already at the neutralized start, and I expect no less on the Kühtai climb. There will be a lot of cyclists climbing up there, having a glimpse on the race and following today's live action.
Yeah, Innsbruck is the 36th time start city for the Tour of Austria, and it has a huge Olympic history. We had 2 Olympic Winter Games here in Innsbruck. We have the Four Hills tournament in Innsbruck, and for sure also University City and some picturesque buildings along the city heart of Innsbruck, like the Golden Roof, well known for the famous background of the
North Chain.
traditional Christmas market here. And today it is really the hometown for our riders of the Tour of Austria.
And if you are into sports of all sorts, skiing, trail running, mountain climbing, road cycling, mountain biking, the city of Innsbruck is the place for you to visit.
You see 130,000 inhabitants are here, and plus 30,000 more students from all around the globe. And it is the perfect mix between urban life culture and mountain sports. With the ski jumping hill designed by Zaha Hadid, and we are here on the at the cockpit. 160 ppm right now. So the jet is high.
They're still
the
choking.
Peloton.
I wonder how long they keep choking. You can see Esteban Chavez from the Education Easy Post squad behind Philipp Hofbauer, who did a great job yesterday on that mountaintop finish.
And always with us,
Andre
Träge, in loving memory. Last year's tragic crash.
Down from the Großglockner.
Yeah. Right now at the end of the Südring.
And then we leave this city of Innsbruck already, and the race will start.
Yeah, 4.6k neutralized zone. And when the race director is waving the flag out of the car, we may see some early attacks there.
Most of the riders who want to go for the early breakaway will already be up front, right behind the car, and maybe use the slipstream of the car to light the first attack and use every single bit of advantage you can get.
So 2 Conti teams in the first line and 2 World Tour teams. And we have Team Vorarlberg lined up pretty well again with Kilian Feuerstein. Rinkov Advarix also with Paul Buschek. He was the one said he had a 160 ppm already.
At 100 watts.
And 100 watts.
So he was quite nervous.
And Isaac Del Toro at the end of the peloton. Freewheeling a bit.
Yeah. He's not in a hurry yet.
Not yet. But we've seen it yesterday and the day before. In the last seconds of the stage, he always pulls to the side and starts to really lay down the hammer and try to secure his stage wins there. And we are curious what he is about to do today. Because maybe that stage is playing well in his cards.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit to his capabilities. Lots of climbing, super hard, super steep. So he will be the favorite for today. But I wonder what the team orders will be. Will he have to stay with Felix or will he be free to go?
That is the question. It is always that talk here between Felix and Isaac, who is at the end of the day the true leader of the team UAE. And with just 5 seconds, the race is about to start right now, and there you can see it. They hammering down some watts already.
So Alpecin now going for the group of the day.
And here we have the first real breakaway action.
I can see 7 riders, I think.
7 riders.
Philipp Hofbauer in the front.
Then Rinkhoff at Varix. Team Vorarlberg, KTM, Tirol cycling team. Then Coupe Repsol. And another one from Rinkhoff at Varix.
Now one from Checo Alula trying to bridge the gap. Will it already be the group of today?
I don't think so,
no.
Because the peloton is also trying to not let them off the leash easily.
Yeah.
They're here back. It was a brave move already from the start on, but in fact, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Patrick Campo was the last one to make the group now. Also, kind of a local hometown hero.
His brother sitting in the Tirol
KTM car, yeah. I was on a phone call with him yesterday, and he said, yeah, the Tirol KTM team is all in for Marco Schrettel today.
They lost Tim Waffler yesterday, the current national champ. Patrick Conrad, and here we have the start of the KOM up to GÖTZENS.
So it's 3.8 kilometers at 11.6% max gradient and 7% average. It's kind of a flattish climb, so it will be fast, and you certainly benefit from slipstream.
But now we have 2 Rinkhoff at Varix riders trying to do the breakaway at that early stage. And they're getting away quite good right now here. Now it's a complete team play for Rinkhoff at Varix, one of the strong Austrian Conti teams. And here we have in it Paul Puschek and Ricardo Verza. Those two trying to get that come up to GÖTZENS. Yeah, it will be a back and forth probably between all those riders here with a lot of breakaway tries, I hope, I guess. And for sure also with an intense finish, especially up to the Kühtai for the first time when they go for the horse category, 23k long. With an always painful climb up there.
I wonder if they will let the breakaway go. Only 2 riders.
A pretty strong move by those 2.
So once they survive the first climb up to GÖTZENS, they will have around 30 kilometers on the flat to try and build their lead. You have a small buffer for the climb, but now the breakaway action is already over.
Yeah, already over. They're back, and you can see Emanuel Zangerle is lining up. And
But
also Nicolas Vinokourov.
right on his wheel.
Right on his back wheel. Getting towed in by one of Alpecin de Koenig.
Yeah, I was on a phone call again yesterday with Emmanuel, asking him about the tactics for today, and he said, yeah, he really targeted the first KOM competition because there's still a few points up for grabs, and afterwards it will be quite hard for him to stay on the wheel of the leading guys for Kühtai. Maybe if the pace is settled for the first Kühtai climb, he can still make it, but he said, yeah, yesterday was a super tough stage for him. He had to burn a lot of candles for the KOM jersey yesterday, but wearing that jersey through his home roads is actually quite a big thing for him.
So Team Vorarlberg sending 2 up front with Colin Stüssi, and another one is lining up on the right hand side. All are working right now for Emanuel Zangerle, but Vinokourov
Glued to his wheel.
Yeah,
And now
glued to his
Ricardo
wheel.
Zeudel.
Ricardo Zeudel is up for an attack there, but dragging the peloton with him.
And now the bunch is stretched out again.
Yeah.
They are halfway through the climb, so still a little more to go before we can see probably a sprint again for that jersey.
We do have an interview with Ricardo Zeudel here.
Gestern im Ziel hast du nicht sehr erfreut ausgesehen. Was war los?
Ja, ich habe eigentlich in der vorletzten Runde ein wenig eine schlechte Pose gehabt. Sind uns völlig aufgegangen und habe es leider nicht mehr ganz geschafft, mit der ersten Gruppe drüber zu fahren. Hab dann dafür
And the split screen, we see him in action.
Das wird man dann heute anders machen.
Ricardo Zeudel, but we don't see Emanuel Zangerle. One of Team Vorarlberg, I guess Colin Stüssi is trying to go with Ricky Zeudel here, but Emanuel Zangerle is struggling a bit with the pace. The question also there is always, Ricardo Zeudel is always looking back towards Emanuel Zangerle. Is he also in a bit of task to help Emi up there to the 1,000 meter until the first come of today?
Maybe the Vorarlberg and Rinkhoff guys have built an alliance. I mean, the smaller teams, we are speaking about the Conti teams here, have to build those alliances to fight the bigger World Tour teams. But I'm not sure. It's looking like Teudel is really up for something here. Maybe he wants to go for the group of today.
Stüssi and Teudel. Teudel, the current national champ in hill climb.
Yeah, close to where we are now. So the Austrian National Climbing Championships took place at Axamalitum, which we are going to pass in a few minutes. And Ricardo Teudel, he used to live in Innsbruck, so he too knows all of these roads like the back of his hand. So he certainly knows what he's up to today.
And today it is dry. No rain. Everything perfect. Perfect weather conditions for an amazing day of cycling sport, and also having here an amazing breakaway by the two Austrian Conti team. Stüssi representing Switzerland and Ricardo representing Austria. Here they are. Already can see the coming up shortly.
And now Stüssi is taking away the points. So Emmanuel will still have the virtual lead on the KOM jersey.
Here we have Stüssi at the Teudel second, and Zangale third. Nicola Vinokuro in fourth position, and here we have the big pack a bit tangled already there. As you can see, from the early on, pretty high tempo by the peloton. There also formed some groups already.
Yeah, now Teudel is trying to bridge the gap to Stüssi, and maybe if the two of them can work together, they will build a gap before they start the climb to Kühtai.
Also big historical background here in GÖTZENS, a bit above Innsbruck. You have a beautiful view around the Inntal. Old farmers' buildings. Perfect roads, and now we go into a bit of flatter part, then a little but spicy uphill, and then going down all the way towards INZING, towards the first sprint classification, then to TELFS, and then it really starts. Kühtai, back down to ÖTZTAL, and then again up to Kühtai one more time. There you can see it. Here it is at the upper right part, the entry to the Kühtai with a bluebird part on the sky. And Ricky Teudel is paddling hard to go back to Colin Stüssi.
He shook his head and waved his hand, so he seemed to complain that Stüssi is not waiting for him.
Or maybe Stüssi thinks that Teudel is already glued to his back wheel again. Yeah. Jaco Elula, William Holmes here from Australia. Then Benotti, Bertold, and here we are. I wonder what Ricky Teudel is thinking right now. Or maybe we can hear something he's saying to Colin Stüssi. No, he is just override him.
But the gap is not that big at the moment. It's only around 5 seconds, and then the peloton is coming already. So they will have some work ahead before the group is really settled.
The replay of GÖTZENS. David Paumann, who had a little crash at the first stage with also some mechanical issues then, but now today they are all working for the best Austrian at the tour for Marco Schrettel from Tirol KTM Cycling. And now we go into that downhill already. But here we are, back with another bigger chase group, and now with that many people, they can make it to a bit, annoy the peloton. EF Education Post, Easy Post, UAE Team Emirates, Jaco Elula, Rinko for sure, Team Vorarlberg.
There is already a big split in the peloton, since the main bunch is still on the flat and there is a group already in the downhill. It looks like the peloton is already split in half.
Yeah, they're tangled there. Patrick Gamper. Then we also have seen Marco Schrettel in that breakaway, early breakaway of today, and with 8 people strong, they can really make things happen here on the first stage. Tiflis going through here, and it is a spicy and pretty fast downhill. And for sure also with some easy turns in it, so they can really hammering down there.
Yeah, when we do this loop in training, we usually hit 90 kilometers an hour going down here, and the guys in the group, they will probably go close to 100 kilometers.
Yeah. So definitely over the speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour there. And here we have a 90 to 91. There it is. They are quite fast.
Yeah.
They are quite fast in a perfect aerodynamic position here. And the good thing for sure, it is dry road, no wind, and now we really go to the 104 kilometers per hour top speed here, going into a hairpin curve. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are in there. Sorry for that.
So the riders really do have to trust their bikes and their mechanics.
But it's not quite a big gap. It's not quite a big gap. You can see them already up there. And also, if they are 104k fast, the others will also be that or nearly the same fast here. Felix Groschardt, now you can see here at, I guess it was Felix or Isaac.
So now they are almost at the bottom of the descent and will start the flat part towards TELFS.
And also that part between INZING and TELFS in the valley is also pretty much known for wind-affected parts for sure there.
Yeah.
So Ricardo Zeudel is
struggling.
You can see it. He is putting in some watts there.
We always use the term Windtal. instead of INZTAL because it's so windy.
Windy valley.
But it's usually very predictable. So in the morning, the wind goes down the valley. So now they will face a headwind. And once they do the turn in TELFS, they will have a tailwind going back to Commentar.
So headwind, they have really put their heads down on that part, but I guess the gap is shrinking between here. But also Ricardo Zeudel is a bit like always
Flapping
moving
around,
on the
yeah.
bike pretty hard there. We have Unterbelfuss, Oberbelfuss, hometown of world champion
In skiing,
Stephanie Venier, and also the hometown for another famous athlete coming from Switzerland, Beat Feuz.
and I know the Venier sisters from a cycling trip that we did. So maybe we can see her at the side of the road today. So she's a cycling enthusiast herself.
Yeah, Commentar. Well known for the Martins Wall,
Famous climbing site.
famous climbing site, famous Via Ferrata, and that 9-man strong breakaway.
And now Zeudel goes. He wants to keep the group alive.
Marco Schrettel, not always a good sign when he is like holding his head a little bit to the left.
So the breakaway is caught, and I'm pretty sure we will see the fight for the next group.
It would be amazing to
Soon again.
see a first real peloton sprint towards the sprint classification. All through the stages here we have so far are always little groups in front taking home the KOM points or the sprint classification points. And today we may have the opportunity to see a huge sprint. And the question also, Isaac Del Toro wearing the green jersey for the sprint classification, is he aiming for that jersey, or is it like just a little benefit from all the finished sprints he had, mountaintop sprint finishes he had?
To him, it seems like it's almost handed to him as a gift. So he's just doing what he always does, and then still wearing the sprint jersey. I mean, when we look at all the data we have from the stages, it's not really a Tour of Austria for the sprinters.
No, not really. It is a hilly one, it is a spicy one, it is probably a 60% made for the punchy hill climbers. And also Julius Johansen from UAE is a time trial specialist. He was always up front, and I wonder when that is going to happen again to see him.
Maybe now with the flat parts coming up, and then probably on the first ascent to Kühtai. Looks like UAE is already lining up just now as we speak. It looks like they are preparing the intermediate sprint.
Also a little interesting side note. Rafael Majka can score his 200th individual top 10 result on road today.
We took the sprint now. It was a tight battle.
It was a tight battle here at the sprint, but we do have soon the replay again. Then we can identify those.
I think it was someone from the Tiro KTM. team. Now we can see it again.
Oh,
that looked close.
that looked really, really close. Just a few centimeters were there.
Still trying to confirm who won the intermediate sprint. We do not have the official results just yet.
And another breakaway try here by 4 riders. 5 riders. EF Education Easy Post is closing in, but that wasn't enough effort for them to get away from that strong peloton, which is already pretty much tangled up. We pretty much stretched here, because it is an amazing sign that the speed is already pretty high due to the fact that we had also that descent here. We are somewhere around 43.4 average speed and under 100k to go there. But another Rinkhoff at Varix is trying to use the draft by the motorbike to get away there.
Today every team wants to have a rider in the breakaway. And I mean, once the peloton starts the climb up to Kühtai, they will have another teammate waiting for them to maybe help them gain a few more seconds on the climb. They will use them as a relay station, as they say. So the aim for the breakaway is a tough task for the riders today. And of course, the Conti teams want to put somebody in there to present their team.
Yeah, for sure. Also Tirol KTM Cycling. It is the hometown of their team, and now we have the beautiful view to Hohemunde, hometown mountain for all those TELFS people. And one is really up front, Jaka Primozic from Rinkhoff at Varix.
He is a breakaway specialist, Jaka. Really good climber, but he can push the pedals on the flat sections. And you can see a lot of people think he can be dangerous once he's out there.
9 people are trying to get Janka back into the fence there.
And again, make sure to put your questions in the comment section of our YouTube video, and we will try to answer them to our best capabilities.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, another one out of that 9-head strong chase group is trying to go up to Janka Primozic from Rinkhoff at Varix.
And now we have the results of the intermediate sprint. So it was August Andrew with
Andrew August.
Andrew August. And then Felix Großschartner in second and Alessandro Covi in third place.
So it is also very crucial for Felix to get here some bonus seconds, because 2 seconds are bonus, so which means he is now leading 8 seconds. on the virtual GC classification, but it is just 28 minutes in the race, so tons of things can happen. In total, there are 130 points to secure here. 130 points, whether it's a sprint classification or a mountain classification. So 130 points are up to grab for all those top contenders in the different classifications.
We have 95.8 kilometers left, so on paper looks like a really short stage, but again, as we mentioned already, and we cannot tell you enough of these 3,500 meters of climbing, and most of it is up ahead. So
oh, Hector Alvarez, little track, performed really well on stage 1, was there also in a breakaway group, and now he is here in that one again. Hopefully there's not too much headwind coming up there in the Inntal Valley. You can see the fans along the road. It is a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, somewhere in there.
So we do not have the time gap between the leading group and the peloton now.
Yeah, Janka is caught here. Primožič in the second last position. There is Janka Primožič. We also have in it Eric Vetter from Team United Shipping.
He used to be a great mountain biker too, so we have a lot of mountain bikers in the Tour of Austria switching to the road bike. I wonder what the gap to the peloton is.
Obvious, not more than 30 seconds. Otherwise, the team supporter cars would be somewhere lined up there between the peloton and the breakaway.
And we are 10 kilometers ahead of the next intermediate sprint in TELFS. And we are only half an hour into the race. And
we've
the
seen
action
so many
is
actions
already
so
live.
far. Nearly 5 breakaway tries already. One was particularly successful right now, but we don't have any time gaps yet here, so it did also be a prediction here. Is it 20 seconds? Is it 15 seconds? Anton Stensby is in there, Filippo Baroncini, and with Anton Stensby with the red number, which means he was crowned to be the most active rider yesterday, so that's why he is wearing today the red number. Also from Tyrol, Matty Dodd is here in that breakaway. And now we have the time gap. It's nearly a minute already, the 57 seconds.
So the peloton seems to be happy with today's breakaway, and they are letting them go. Michael Gogel is in the breakaway group for Alpecin de Koenig, Rui Costa, Puccio Salvatore, Baroncini Filippo, Hector Alvarez, Paul Double, Baptiste Huyet, Jaka Primožič, Colin Stussy, Matthew Dodd, Anton Stansby and Vetter Erik. And Matthew Dodd, he resides in Innsbruck for most of his racing season, riding for the KTM team. He is a British fella, and he chooses Innsbruck as his training place. So we have a question that every team that starts, what they do if a rider gets injured, if they can be replaced. No, they cannot. Every rider that starts has to finish, and if they do not, they cannot replace a rider. So it's not like in soccer where you can replace them. Every rider has to stay in the race.
And there he is. Julius Johansen, back in his favorite position of the peloton.
He's doing a really good job of controlling the pace of the peloton, and nobody wants to interfere with him.
Nobody. They just let Julius do his job.
Michael Gore, yeah, he had a lot of problems with his knee in the previous years. So he's still building back from those setbacks.
I guess he has the trouble to get the supporter car.
Vitoria being the neutral service of this year's Tour of Austria. So they are doing a crucial job. Once the teams do not have their car right behind them, the neutral service steps in and provides them with everything they would need in case of mechanical issues, or as you can just see, handing them bottles. Helmet off for education.
Rui Costa, the Portuguese.
Former road race world champion.
You can see it on the jersey. There are the
rainbow stripes.
Rainbow stripes on it.
You can keep these sleeves for the rest of your life if you become world champion once in your career.
It's amazing. Pfaffenhofen we see here. That leads us to the last 5K towards TELFS, towards the Skoda Sprint classification. And after that, we are really going towards the climbs.
So Julius Johansen is keeping the gap at around 1 minute. So the breakaway group is not allowed to go too far up ahead. And here you can see the top of the Kühtai climb where they will pass once and finish after these brutal climbs. Yeah, a lot of spectators riding their bikes up there.
And a lot of ÖTZTAL jerseys you can see here, or from the ÖTZTAL Rad Marathon. It is kind of a community ride between the Tour and the ÖTZTAL Radmarathons, or more than 40 people, I guess, somehow are started their climb up to the Kühtai, which is also a pretty crucial point at the ÖTZTAL Radmarathon. After an intense climb up, which we are going down today, it is the first real deciding point for the ÖTZTAL Radmarathon. It is probably the most known Grand Fondo on the world, with also more than 3,500 meters in elevation gain and more than 200k to complete. So that's also an amazing picture to see those communities getting together up on the top of the, we can say, Kühtai Rodeo.
Rodeo, yeah. And we also have the junior national or local, the Tyrolean Hill Climb Championships. So we will probably see a lot of kids racing their bikes up to the Kühtai climb. They will do a slightly shorter version than the pros are about to do today, but the program around this Queen stage of the Tour of Austria is really big, and there is something for everybody to join in. Or if you just want to watch the races, you are very welcome to go up to Kühtai today.
So we are in TELFS, which means the sprint classification is not far away here, and we've seen already on the side the green sign, which tells us they are putting down their heads and hammering again into the pedals to secure those sprint comms. We are going through the city of TELFS, and also
now there is a roundabout, and then we are already on the straight road towards the sprint classification.
But here you can see the speed of that breakaway while looking onto the Vittoria car. Filippo Baroncini just had his hands up in the air trying to call Vittoria next to him. And one is really trying to get away here, trying to secure those points, which were successful for him.
I think it was Hector Alvarez from the little track squad.
Yeah, for sure, Hector Alvarez, little track. And now stepping a bit to the side, let the breakaway group passing him, and then probably glue himself to the back wheel of Filippo Baroncini from UAE Team Emirates XRG.
Here on the...
Whoa, that was close. Oh, Stansby in the chat with Alvarez, nearly knocking off Matty Dodd from the bike there.
The
1 minute.
Is telling them 1 minute ahead on the Telfa Alley. That's what we call this road here. Bunch already at the intermediate sprint, but no more points up for grabs. And the teams are already in order, getting ready for the Kühtai climb. Still around 15 kilometers to go.
You can hear it. There is a bit of
wind.
Oh, Hector Alvarez with an easy win here.
Sprint
classification, sorry. Sorry.
Once we start tackling the Kühtai climb, do you think we will have immediate response from the bunch, or will they leave the leading group out there?
I guess my prediction, but I'm not an expert in it. I guess they will leave them out for a bit, hoping they're going to make them suffer by their own up to the Kühtai, which is 23k long. And in the middle of it, they're going to send up some chasers to get those breakaway back into the peloton. That's my guess.
The best placed rider from our leading group is Paul Double from the Checo Alula squad with 2 minutes and 28 seconds. So they will keep him on the shorter leash and not let him go too far.
But 2 minutes is quite a thing to keep that gap up to the Kühtai. So, and for sure all of you are watching the stream, we would be happy to read your guesses in there. Who takes home the victory of that stage? Isaac del Toro is a name which is mentioned quite often in the chat. Salvatore Buccio, also from iNews, in the chat with Stansby. I guess they're discussing something. They're not happy with it.
And the young gun from the Tirol KTM cycling team, Matthew Dodd, doing a lot of work to keep this group going. It's almost like the calm before the storm.
Yeah, it is. 82.3k to go. And what of you wanted to know? 3,054 meters in elevation gain are still to go here.
So the average speed is now at
45.4.
Yeah, and still going up. And soon we will see it going down a little bit.
But now another road sign here on that stage, and the sun is out, the weather is good, not too warm, around 18 degrees here, especially for the climb up to the Kühtai. The temperatures are perfect, otherwise the guys would be grilled pretty hard there.
So let's talk about the climb up to Kühtai, our first one.
Yeah, you can talk about the climb up to Kühtai because you've done it, I guess, more than 3,000 times in your life already.
Not the one that we are going to do today, because I think that's the nastiest climb, or the possibility to climb up to Kühtai. We always compare it to a stairway, so it's steep, flat, steep, flat. It's hard to find a rhythm there. The gradient is up to 14% with an average of around 6%, so you can kind of get the feeling that it's ramping up from time to time. There is a road race going up there, the Kühtai Bergkaiser, and the record time for this climb on Strava is held by Jack Berg, a Canadian feller, and he did it in 59 minutes and 39 seconds, so that's quite fast for a 23-kilometer climb. I wonder what the guys will do today.
We will use our own timing gear, which means our phones, to track that. 1-2 Felix Großschartner here at the end of the peloton. Next to him is Daniel Reiter from RB Kärnten Sportfeld am See.
He's also a really experienced rider from the national racing circuit.
And Felix was in the chat with Ricardo Zeudel. Now we do have 1 minute and 15 seconds gap. We are nearly along the Martinswand, it called. There's also a funny story about the Martinswand. Emperor Maximilian was trapped in there in a cave for, I guess, 4 days in 1492, so which means a few decades ago. And he was then rescued by the people from Kärnten. And the name Kärnten results out of that rescue, because he was screaming out there in dialect, which is also pretty hard for us to
translate. So it makes sense. Also, Oberperfurs is also deriving from that myth.
Yeah.
The Inntal Valley presenting itself from all its beauty. Now they take the right turn to go over the bridge, cross the highway, and then they are back on the road that they took earlier today. And then we are approaching the infamous Kühtai climb. 1 minute 25 gap for the leading group to the peloton, collecting new bottles to be prepared, getting all the nutrients in. You have all the energy you need for the remaining 3,000 meters of climbing. We cannot say it often enough.
Way to go here, but again, a perfect race of the Tour of Austria. And as we all know, cycling sport is unpredictable, but right now having again a huge breakaway, going hard towards the first climb up there, we are really curious about what is going to happen next. Was it a brave breakaway from them? Was it a success? Is it a successful breakaway, or is it just, or was it just a try?
The breakaway has to work together really, really well to stay out there. They will benefit in the flatter parts of the Kühtai climb. Maybe hold something back on the super steep ones so they can really work together and make it over the Kühtai climb for the first time. Every single second they take to the next SATTELE climb will be crucial for them.
No, and those are all questions which are going to be answered in the next 77K, because then there is that very last moment of those stage. But so far we are enjoying a bit the overview over the valley, enjoying the pictures provided
of our
helicopter today, and seeing those big breakaway group working good together, rotating always. Michi Gogel having his team car right now here.
He seems to be nervous to me, so he's really
he's opting
on
for
a mission.
On a mission, yeah. He is on a mission for something bigger today.
It's a sign that he cares what is going on today.
We have here the good opportunity or the luck to have Christian Böhmer from Team Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe here also in the studio for commentating for the Austrian television. And I've asked him before, how long does a sticky bottle is allowed to last? So he just said there's someone, especially at the tour on the radio, is counting down. 3, 2, 1, thank you. And then, you know, okay, now time is up and now time is gone. But is it really useful to have a slight moment of getting dragged by the team car?
I mean, you go back to the car to grab bottles, so you lose 10, 15 meters to the bunch. And then once you want to come back, he grabs the bottle, stomps on the gas, and then pushes you back into the field. So you don't really gain a lot, but it helps you coming back to the bunch without losing too much energy, without needing to bridge this gap. So as long as you stick to Christian's 3-second rule, you should be fine. But yeah, don't overdo it and grab 5 bottles on one climb.
But is there a limitation there? We know nutrition and liquid is crucial on that uphill parts, but is there any limitation or regulations that we can say the athletes are just allowed to grab 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 bottles or
usually
or no?
The race directors, they will have a look on it and will tell you to calm down and will tell you, yeah, now it's time for you to pedal on your own. We've heard some cases where they were dragged back by the car and the riders are taken out of the competition. So you don't really want to overdo it and make use of this kind of unwritten rule of cycling. We are almost 1 hour into the race. For now it looks kind of calm. Still Julius Johansson in the front, pulling the peloton. A sign we are used to by now.
Yeah. They did yesterday, I guess, 80k in front of the peloton, and also yesterday we've seen Ineos on the second position with Jaco Alula, and it is again the same picture of them. Andrew August also here in the third position with the best rookie jersey. 1 minute and 18 seconds right now. That was that Freudenthaler sprint we've seen before. The UAE having won in the breakaway. Lidl Track having won in the breakaway. Ineos. Then Tyrol, KTM, Rinkhoff Varix, Jaco Elula, Kub Repsol, Team Vorarlberg. So mixed up between Contis and World Tour teams. So also the question pops up, how much is or how many is the first mountain? 23k long. Then we do have It's 266 meters in elevation gain, 7% in average, and maxing out to 11.6 K. And we're about to start it in 8 to 7 kilometers, and then we will see the first climb of today, and that one's going to take us for a while. Just remember to come up there. Strava.com up there is 59 minutes
and 39 seconds.
39 seconds.
So it starts off kind of as a false flat, so super low gradient, and then after the first village it will ramp up already, and as I previously mentioned, it is kind of like a stairway up to Kühtai. So we will see flatter sections and then super steep sections again and again. So they will climb for approximately 1 hour before they reach the top of the Kühtai climb. Last bottles for the riders of the breakaway.
So in that part where the trees are, they are somewhere turning right.
No
1 minute
change in the peloton.
Nothing changed. 1 minute 23. And you just asked me before what my guess will be if there is a breakaway or they're trying to start a counter-attack towards the breakaway group, or if the peloton let them go away a bit more or a bit longer. Question is, you as an expert, what would your guess be up there?
I think for now, for the first climb, the peloton will try to keep the gap at around 1 to 1.5 minutes. So the peloton will stick together for the first climb. We maybe see some riders getting dropped already, but the majority of the bunch will stay together and then try to preserve as much energy as they can for the final 2 climbs. I mean, we speak about 2 separate climbs, but when we really look at the profile, once they did the HC climb up to the Heimingerberg, to the famous SATTELE, they will only have a short descent of about 2 to 3 minutes and then start climbing again. So it really is, in fact, one big climb. So they will try to preserve as much as they can. Don't burn too much energy on this first climb to really go for it. So I really think the group will stay out there for the next hour or so.
Okay. So we just all heard it, what Fabian is predicting here at that stage. I guess it is earlier. Just let us know, everybody, what your guesses are. And here with the view to the famous Kalkkogel, where the Axamer is, also known for the Olympic races, women races up there, and technic races up there. Also right now known still for perfect skiing.
And a really famous mountain for ski mountaineering. And speaking of ski mountaineering, we have Paul Werbniak in the little track team.
Yeah.
And he is one of Austria's best ski mountaineer, and now currently in the Tour of Austria, and he will be in the Olympic Games next year, Olympic Winter Games.
Yeah, in the relay competition, in the mixed relay competition with Johanna Hima, and he actually started at the Little Trek. We're in the development team, and this is now his opportunity to shine here also on, yeah, it is a Pro Tour level niveau here. So he's also did a fantastic job so far yesterday. He said it was quite hard for him. It was freezing cold at the beginning with that rain, tricky conditions, but in the end with the sun up there on the Geisberg, everything played out pretty good for him, and he's happy so far with the performance.
Stepping into the footsteps of
Anton Balzer, who is right now up there in the Kühtai doing his high altitude training camp after his crash and injury he had a bit ago. So he surely will be up there somewhere in the finish line cheering for his, not his teammates, because Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe is not taking place in that Tour of Austria this year, but for sure cheering for some of his friends there he met along his Pro Tour or World Tour way. Julius Johansson again making an incredible effort for UAE Team Emirates, glued to his back wheel from Ineos. Not just from Ineos complete, because we know we have one in at the breakaway, so four athletes, 4 riders from Ineos, and also that one wearing the black and white jersey. And Julius Johansson still have his bike with the aero bar on it. So you know for sure what his task is at the Tour of Austria, also with the aero sleeves, aero helmet. Pretty much the only one here with that helmet.
Going full aero for a mountain stage.
Yeah.
So now you can see we are in the flatter lower part of the Kühtai climb.
But the funny thing is, sorry to interrupt you, Julius Johansson's got at the Vuelta Asturias Julio Alvarez Mendo a 3rd place in the overall mountain classification and an 8th place in the points classification, and he also got a 2nd place in the 2nd stage. So also he is capable of bringing home mountain stages. Yeah. That's for sure.
I mean, he has to be, the way he's climbing and still being able to push his watts on the flat, it's really impressive. He's also a tall guy.
Yeah, 188. Here we have the view of Kühtai finish. 1 hour and 8 minutes already in the race, 65.9k to go. And it is already filling up there. So a lot of spectators are on their way up to. And also all of them pretty much with the bikes are at the Kühtai, and here we are stepping into the first meters of that climb here. You can see it is a gradient ascent right now there. So I just said there are 7% average for the riders. And still 1 minute and 10 ahead. Fabian, your bet here, first one, crossing the finish line today. Seen incredible performances by, for sure, Isaac Del Toro, whose name is written everywhere right now after his Giro d'Italia second place in the GC and being in the pink jersey for 13 stages, I guess. But we do have also Andrew August is capable of bringing that one home. Felix Großschartner is capable, for sure, more than capable, to securing that thing. Also, one to have on the list is Hector Alvarez.
Yeah, my head says Isaac Del Toro. My heart says Felix Großschartner.
About Hector Alvarez, second in the youth classification of the Valois Belgium Tour, third at the Olympias Tour. So he is 18 years young and having such an incredible vita already with amazing results so far, and we've seen it on the first stage. He is capable of big things, but also some underdogs could be here.
There could be some surprises today.
We will for sure.
I'm kind of afraid to put a name out there. There is so many guys who can potentially go for the victory today.
So also in that group we have Rui Costa in it. 33 pro wins already. So yes,
he's I think one of the oldest guys in this race. I mean, still one of
38 years old, former world champion for 3 times GC Tour de Suisse, 5 times stage wins at the Tour de Suisse, so Vuelta and so on and so on and so on.
Colin Stüssi, he can be dangerous from the breakaway group. He's a really strong climber too. He just has the head to push through walls. He is really mentally also a super strong guy. He can potentially go for a great result for his Vorarlberg squad. Now we are again in one of these flatter parts of the climb. I mean, 23 kilometers of climbing. Can you imagine that?
No, not really. But for sure, some of the riders said they are not quite sure what's happening today. As you said before we started with the stream here, you had some nice calls, I guess also with Patrick Gampa.
Yeah.
And he said that.
Yeah, that they know the roads really well, and I asked him if he would use it to his benefit. He said, yeah, he was not sure if it's a good thing for him to know what is up ahead, because knowing what you're about to face is quite hard.
But when we're talking right now about planning or knowing what is about to happen, all of the athletes got their road book. They try to pretty feel into that what's coming up, but how is really the planning of such a difficult stage with 3,500 meters in elevation gain? It is not that long, but it is for sure a painful one.
Yeah, I mean, also speaking to Felix Engelhardt, he said that knowing especially the climb we are doing now, like where to push, where to try and stay in the group, like calculate your energy output, where to push super hard to have a slipstream in the flatter section is necessary. So they really try to make the most out of their knowledge. But still, once you are on the second horse category climb up to SATTELE, it's steep all the way up. So it's again really a super honest climb. There is no hiding. If you have signs of weakness there, your race is done.
Yeah. So we hope that all of those contenders are planned that job here pretty well. We're entering Sellrhein, the village Sellrhein, which marks a little bit the start towards the Kühtai. We then turn right into the valley. Actually, there is like a crossing here. And Sellrhein is the very first village in there, where you can say actually it is the start of something bigger.
So we previously mentioned that a lot of Austrian riders and also foreign riders go up to Kühtai to do their altitude training there. It will be crucial for the riders today to be adapted to the altitude, climbing up to 2,200 meters.
2,200, yes.
So you will already start to feel the lack of oxygen from rule of thumb around 1,500 meters of climbing. So the riders who are adapted to altitude the best or the most will have certain benefits up there. And again, as you mentioned, Toni Balzer, a lot of the Bora team use the ÖTZTAL Valley or Kühtai for their altitude training. Jake Walula will be up there in the coming weeks. We've seen Jumbo Visma up there. We've seen the women's squad Canyon SRAM, the FDG girls. And now we see Colin Stüssi
trying to get away here. But the breakaway is up for a counter-attack. They're not letting him off the leash easily. And up front there is, I guess, Jaco Elula pushing hard. There is, I guess, KTM Tyrol Cycling pushing here, but Michi Gogel just let them a bit, go here. Maybe it was a bit too fast from the early on of that stage. And here Julius Johansen again uphill in amazing position. dragging in the peloton towards the breakaway. 57 seconds.
No signs of weakness for Julius.
No
Johansson.
signs of weakness, no signs of
Still
fatigue.
looking
there.
strong and composed.
And how
looks
stretched the peloton is again there. So that indicates a pretty high tempo, even though we're going uphill in a certain gradient there. That is amazing. Look at that power Julius Johansson is bringing into the pedals. And also now the breakaway is tangled up here. We have Jaka Primosic, Hector Alvarez, Salvatore Buccio from Ineos, and you can see it, everybody in bike clothes up there.
All the main contenders now lined up in front of the peloton.
You see Felix Großschartner, you see Raphael Maika, you see Andrew August. You see also Isaac Del Toro in the green, white jersey. And in the backdrop, and we are with Rui Costa. EF Education Easy Post. Trying to closen up the gap.
To Paul Double and Colin Stüssi.
Colin Stüssi.
All of them opting for the lightweight climbers bike today. Smaller rims, all trimmed down to lightweight, but still above the weight limit of the UCI, which is 6.8 kilos. So that's the least amount of weight your bike should have, otherwise you will get a penalty for it.
Are there any tricks to make it heavier while being on the scale, and then at the end it is lighter?
Back in the day they put ice inside the frame, and then once they start riding it melts and trims down the weight, but nowadays they will weigh their bikes after the race, and if your bike is below 6.8 kilos you will have a problem. So if your bike really is too light, they put extra weight into the bike. But you want to have your wheels super light, so everything that turns is supposed to be light, because that's where the weight makes the biggest difference. The tires, wheels, and then you try to put the weight down close to the bottom bracket where you lose the least amount of watts.
Having that stairway right now, it's a bit flatter part. Then it ramps up again towards Greece.
But don't get confused when we use the term flat, because it is not
Nikolai
flat.
Vinokurov having a mechanical here. You as a former mechanic, what happens there? Is there any...
So he dropped his chain probably because his shifting didn't work properly, or he even made a shifting mistake. Not too sure, but he should be able to get the chain back on quite fast
and also a
back
bad
in the race.
position to be there.
Yeah.
He's also trying again to hopefully secure some more points on the KOM, but with having mechanicals on the early stages of that climb up, it's going to be a tough task. It is also going to be a tough task there for Michi Gogel from Alpecin. The Koenig, he lost a bit
of skin on his elbow.
Yeah, that's also at the connection there, because the breakaway also tangled or really stretched along, but still looking pretty strong here. Nasal breathing on his lightweight canyon machine. One minute 37.
Speaking of bikes, if you could choose one of the bikes of each team, which one would you want to have?
I guess my own one. It's hard to say. All of those bikes are in the lineup are pretty much on top level, and I guess there are not many differences anymore between those producers or like brands of bikes. But which really looks cool is that one from Jaco Alula.
Yeah.
.TK. It is not that long anymore, but I guess that chess on the wheel is about to start pretty soon here. Also here in that chase group, because we are right now having two groups out there leading.
This is the second group.
It is Hector Alvarez, it is Salvatore Puccio, and also from Rinko Vadvarix, Jaka Primosic. And Hector Alvarez is fueling himself.
Third group.
And there even is a third group there. Also Salvatore Puccio. In the middle, there's another group. So we do have some of them out here trying to pull some moves here in that stage. But this is the leading one. Filippo Parancini is in another group in it.
And now we are about to go through the village of Gries im Sellrhein. And once we are through that village, it is where the steepest part of this climb up to Kühtai starts. And the gap
is opening up. So they have approximately 20 to 30 seconds gap to the next group, with Filippo Parancini in it, with Mary Dodd, with Anton Stensby and Eric Vetter, as also with Michi Gogel. And then we do have the third group with Buccio, Alvarez and Primosic. And now we are going towards that steeper part. Our helicopter having also a little break there, sitting in the field. But as you can hear it rotating faster, he is about to start.
And we will have some
Amazing
bird
aerial
view
footage.
pictures. Yeah.
So also that third chase group is entering Greece. There. Also great to see nearly half of the Sederrhein on the side of the road there.
And I got some pictures from a lot of friends yesterday that they painted some names on the streets for the riders they are cheering for. And I think we will have a few fan zones along the way.
Now we're back with the heli there, ramping up towards Kühtai, towards the first horse category of today. And they're just paddling in a pretty decent rhythm.
Yeah. Lots of Austrian
Lots of
frags.
people here. Oh, that's
Lots of music.
typical Austrian culture and tradition. Having the orchestra standing next to the track, playing some traditional music. So one more time, welcome to Austria. So also
Always nice to see other teams feeding not only their riders but giving bottles to everybody. Moran Vermeulen, former ex-pro in the Team Vorarlberg car.
also coach now for one really famous Austrian runner. For
Julia Meyer. Julia
Meyer.
And the brother of
Mika.
Austria's best cross-country skier, Mika Vermeulen.
Mika Vermeulen. 1 minute 42 peloton and 35 seconds and 40 seconds. So we do have two chase groups out there.
So this really is one of the steepest part of this first Kühtai climb. And you know, when you've done the climb before, that this really is super steep.
Hey, you don't have to do it before, you just have to watch that pictures. You can see them leaning on the bar, you can watch on the gear on which they are right now. Now really trying to work with the upper body too a bit here. So it is one hell of a ramp.
It is. And when you see the best riders pushing hard gears, you know it is steep. You can tell from their body language. The famous Kreuzlehnstich.
How does it call?
Kreuzlehnstich.
Cross-lean stitch 101 translated from German to English. They have the fans. Go, 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 Emmanuel.
That's his parents right there.
Are the parents. Yesterday we saw his mother on top of the Geisberg, and now they are in the Kühtai. Yeah, it is.
She is following the whole tour of Austria. That's what I heard.
Go, Emo.
Go, Felix.
Go, Felix. That was you, right?
No,
go,
it
Emo,
was not.
Go, Felix.
No, it was not me. I went to bed early yesterday, so I'm ready for today.
Matty Dot. Struggling, you can see it in his face. As we all know, Tyrol KTM Cycling is mainly an under 23 team, Conti team here, and they are producing amazing riders out there. Thomas Bupp, which is not just the director of the Tour of Austria, it's also the team manager of Tyrol KTM Cycling, is probably more than happy with the performance so far from his team, especially from Marco Schrettel, who is in the best Austrian jersey with a top 15 GC place right now.
And now the steep part is over, and they will have a smaller, flatter section for recovery, if you can call it like that, and then it will ramp up again, and that is what I meant with the stairway up to Kühtai.
The team Unibet.
Titema Rockets, number 73, Baptiste Houillet, French rider.
The only pro team in the lineup. There's 7 World Tour teams, 1 pro team, and 12 continental teams are in that UCI 2.1 race. 2 stands for stage races, and the 0.1 stays for open to Conti and pro and World Tour teams. Now that's that flatter part you talked earlier. And then it is going up again. We are nearly halfway through the first climb of today up to the Kühtai. And just to let those stats sink in once more, 223k to go. 1,396 meters in elevation gain, 6% in average, maxing out to 18.4%. And that is the beautiful aerial view of the peloton, with still one in the lead, with still Julius Johansen controlling the speed of the peloton, with Ineos on his back wheel. Again, then UAE with all the top contenders: Felix Großschartner, Isaac Del Toro, Andrew August, and so on and so on.
And horses on the road now.
Yeah, that is free grazing or free feeding of the animals here in Austria. They are allowed to walk around freely, which is also a bit a topic in cycling sports for sure, because it could be that those horses are in the middle of the track.
And it looked like Baptiste Huyes is trying to come back to our leading trio. It will be a tough challenge for him.
But I guess you heard him scream towards them, and now the peloton is quite small already. And you can see some of the riders out there, and they are going to be catched in the next few moments. Yeah, here we are with the horses on the track. Now Matty Todd having a little look over to it and a smile towards the camera. Yeah, we are in an alpine village or valley, as you can see here. The gap is closing, the peloton is rolling without any hesitations towards those chases.
But you can see the peloton is already becoming smaller and smaller. A lot of riders struggling with the ferocious pace set by Julius Johansson. And we have now a leading quartet.
Yeah, with Baptiste Huyes again here. He made the cut and is up there, but Colin Stüssi is again on for something here, upping up the speed. And now we are Matty Dot back in the peloton, and UAE again there with the leading work. Julius Johansson dropped because his job is done. He brought them back, he brought them into the mountains, he brought them some advantages gap-wise there, but right now he is trying probably to just survive that stage here. After an incredible job, one more time you have to say that pretty loud and clear.
The gap is at 1 minute now.
UAE is sending another rider up front, so now we have 2 UAE, 4 from Ineos. Then I guess it is Jaco Elula. And we are hearing some informations from Sophie Geschke from the finish area right now.
Ja, hallo aus dem Kühtai. Hier oben hat es 13 Grad und es sind unfassbar viele Menschenmengen. Es sind die letzten 50 Meter. Hier ist die Ziellinie, aber bevor Sie so hoch kommen, müssen Sie erst einmal hier durch. Das heißt, hier sehen Sie die Fans zweimal. Die Stimmung ist am Beben und wir freuen uns auf ein spannendes Finale hier bei der 4. Etappe der Tour of Austria.
Pictures are beautiful. We are waiting for them for sure to go up there. We are in St. Sigmund right now.
The last small village before we reach Kühtai.
And also from here it's going to be steep.
Some climbing left, yes. Team Tirol handing bottles to the riders, and we can see Mario Gamper, the brother of Patrick Gamper from the Jaco Alula squad. Former racer for the KTM Tirol team, coming from a family of racers, so it's 3 brothers. all having roots in the racing scene in Austria. Florian Gamper being the other brother of the Gampers, working in the bike industry, but not part of this year's Tour of Austria.
117.3k from the start in Innsbruck, and now we are at 51.9, 1 hour and 43 minutes already in that race, and you can see those 4-man strong breakaway group here with a 1 minute and 2 seconds gap to the peloton, but they are on a mission. They are trying to swallow everyone who is out there and getting them back. After Sankt Sigmund, they are working good, not good, they're working perfectly fine together and always up there in front from Jaco Elula. Paul Dubel is doing the leading work here. Under a minute right now is the gap between the peloton and those four: Baptiste Douillet, Colin Stussy, Rui Costa, Paul Dubel. And we have 1 and 2 World Tour teams, 1 Continental teams. Again, Team Vorarlberg is doing an amazing job so far on that Tour of Austria. Or, Fabian, what do you think? Team Vorarlberg and all the other Continental teams are presenting them in a way which nobody would have ever thought about it.
No, they are not hiding from the big teams. They are doing the best what they can. We've seen some incredible performances by the local guys. Great job, fantastic.
And I guess now it is really the time, or not just now, it was from the beginning on. All the World Tour teams are setting their top contenders into the front of the peloton, because it is a deciding stage. You may win that GC, or when you lose it big times there, because if you have any issues equipment-wise or physical-wise, it is probably decided by the end of that day here. And it's a brutal day. It's a brutal day, that's for sure.
I think, or I expect, bigger gaps today than we had the previous days. The parkour, like Thomas Pope really prepared a hard stage for the riders. I mean, it is called the Queen stage of this year's Tour of Austria. And yeah, we are seeing nothing less. Now we are already in one of the steeper parts again.
Sankt Sigmund, it was Baptiste Douillet. And here you can see it also on the gear.
Not even on the biggest sprocket. He's still pushing hard, even on the steepest parts. So you know these riders still have something left
in the tank. That's amazing. Nearly 870 people are watching that Tour of Austria. The Queen stage today. UAE, Ineos and Jaco Alula, and here you can see it is a kind of a small peloton already. One of you guys counted it, approximately 60, but now there are
40-ish people.
40-ish people here. And we still have 50k to go.
And they shaved off 30 seconds off the leading gap. It's jumping around.
Go, 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 Tangale, we could read here. And it is not that far anymore, approximately 4k to go to the top from here on. And one is really, or two are really pushing hard. Baptiste Douillet and Rui Costa are on another breakaway or another attack try from those two. Yeah. Strong and known athletes for sure with the rainbow strides on it. And for all of you guys wondering what that thing on the street is, it is a barrier for all the animals up there, for the cows, for the horses to not, yeah,
Cross the road
or running
down.
away. And also for sure in the downhill section, it is going to be a bit of a, I would not say a problem, but I guess it is a bit of a tricky part in the track.
We will not see cows.
No, not the cows, the thing on the street.
Oh, yeah. But on the other side of the mountain, there are not that many animals. But still, we have the rails across the road, and there will be some nasty ones. So the riders really do have to take care of that. And it will be mentioned in the team meeting before each stage, where the riders will talk through the strategies of the day. The director sportifs will also talk them through the dangers of the descents and the twisty turns. So, I mean, if we can speak of the downhill already before we reach the top, it is really a technical one with a lot of switchbacks down. They will hit close to 100 kilometers per hour again. So the riders have to be careful and not take too many risks. You will not win the race on the downhill, but you can certainly lose
it.
Yeah. And we were also speaking about the switch to disc brakes earlier, and Christian was telling us that they are stronger disc brakes, but in his opinion they are not really safer, since the riders can brake later and hit higher speeds on the downhill. So the riders nowadays, are they taking more risks on the downhill?
I guess so, because as you mentioned, there are it is possible to brake later before they go into that turn. I guess it is more likely for them to speed up here and try to use the momentum of the descent to maybe build up the gap between them and the peloton, or for the peloton to close the gap towards the breakaway. But those athletes are complete experts in that, what they are doing. It is their job, and they know about the risk. Every time something can happen, and especially here for the next few seconds. Then Colin Stüssi lost the connection towards those two, Rui Costa and Baptiste Douillet. Rui Costa in an amazing shape, Baptiste Douillet also in an amazing shape. He did a great effort to close the gap to that three-man strong breakaway group, and now he is on his way up to the Kühtai, up to the horse category, and we're seeing the tunnels along
means we are
the track.
close to the top of the Kühtai climb. So Rui Costa and Baptiste Houillet can already see or have a glimpse to the top of the Kühtai climb.
And it's not that far away. It's ramping up one more time a little bit, and then it's flattened out up there at the very top of the Kühtai at over 2,000 meters above sea level. And also for the peloton, it is the time where they are able to see the tunnels over there like we are right now able to see it. And this is really the moment where they knew, okay, soon we are pretty much up there.
I mean, they are already climbing for close to 50 minutes. So it is a long climb. And then they have to do it
One more
again.
time. Baptiste Houillet, Rui Costa, France and Portugal. It was a dangerous move for sure for both of them, but the quality of that group up front, or of those two athletes up front, is simply amazing, and so far they are making an incredible job. They're fully committed to reach that horse category here on the Kühtai, and now we have the overview over Kühtai. Also well known for its skiing, also well known for, as we said before, the ÖTZTAL Radmarathon and some more incredible winter events there. But today it is really the pinnacle of Austrian cycling sports, and we are waiting hard for seeing those two up there. So let's buckle up. We too are for sure buckled up in our seats here in the commentator booth and waiting for all the things are about to happen in the next moments. People are along the track, and we see also not just the finish, we see the passing, we see the horse category, and hopefully soon we are seeing those two. But there is something happened. Rui Baptiste Houillet cannot stand that huge pace. Rui Costa is bringing on to the ground here, and he is in an amazing shape. Former world champion, pro world tour athlete. He is pretty much one of the oldest in the competitors field, 38 years old, but still hammering up there. And there's one pretty well-known sentence from the commentator. He is dancing on the pedals.
And Colin Jussi is still not letting the pace go. So he keeps the distance to Rui Costa roughly the same. So he is managing his efforts really, really well. His day is not over yet.
But you can see it a bit in the cadence before. He was at some part on the limit.
For sure.
We just heard it. He is approximately 17 kilometers per hour fast here.
On the climb.
On the climb.
Incredible.
Rui Costa.
Even the motorbikes.
Yeah. On his way to grab 15 points. But just stay inside the building. We're not leaning too far wide out of the window, because there's always something up to something here.
Yeah. And if you are watching YouTube videos and are really into that, you have to follow the channel of the Titima Unibet Rockets, because they are really up to some incredible stuff and videos on their YouTube channel.
To 1.5K to go here. Colin Stüssi back in his well-known rhythmful cadence on the way to grab Baptiste Douillet. We are right now 2 hours in that fourth stage. Always turning his head towards the peloton and wondering where they are. Also, we got now the view back. Aren't able to see them because they are also in the tunnels right now.
So the situation for the moment is Rui Costa in the lead with a 13-second gap to Baptiste Douillet. Then it's 5 seconds between Douillet and Colin Stüssi, and then there is still Paul Double at 23 seconds behind Rui Costa. And the peloton, as we see it, is 1 minute and 19 seconds behind.
Yeah, but you can
our
see
leader.
it also here. Colin Stüssi is working his way up to Baptiste Douillet from Unibet Tiatema Rocket.
Now the steepest part of the Kühtai climb is over, and it is a flatter section to the top now. Maybe they can regroup and then go for the downhill. Rui Costa is not waiting for
He
no
is
one.
not waiting for anybody here. He probably can hear them already up there. Rui Costa. Now that would be a part for his followers or for his chasers to try to close that gap here. Colin Stüssi is probably aiming for it and trying to do that. So 1.8K until we are reaching the KOM Ors category, the highest classification in the UCI rulebook. And that one probably goes to Portugal, goes to Rui Costa. Now Colin Stüssi not far away from Baptiste Douillet.
So Rui Costa's last win is 1 year and 19 days ago. So he really wants to have that win again.
No, it is not that far anymore for him.
And it's super nice to see so many fans up on the Kühtai climb, rooting for the racers.
And now he's on his way to crown himself the first king of Kühtai. Because we do have a second king already then coming up later when we are going towards the finish. But now he even got time to put on his jacket. It is cold. We are above 2,000 meters here above sea level.
So it will be slightly
Cold.
less than 10 degrees or around 10 degrees.
Here we are, amazing footage again. And with him.
And then we will have some numbers on the real gaps between him and the peloton and all of the riders in between.
2020 meters to be exact, above sea level here at the Kühtai. We can see all the team buses lined up there. Jaco, Lidl, and here in the focus for sure, Rui Costa.
Crossing the Kühtai climb for the first time.
And here he is, Rui Costa, 2 hours and 4 minutes in the race, getting that 15 points on his back here, and now no hesitation. And Colin Stüssi made it to catch Baptiste Houillet and is up there to grab 10 points. Baptiste Houillet is really laying down his head here and trying to stay in the draft from Colin Stüssi. But you can see it, Stüssi was going for the KOM. Then there was a bit of a slowdown after that line, but not for Rui Costa.
And now it's all the way down to the ÖTZTAL Valley. 1,200 meters of downhill.
20 kilometers of downhill. And he's already up there next to the Hütte. So we have the peloton rolling into
Kühtai. There's not many left.
And the commentators are up there making
the crowd go wild.
Yeah.
So now it's time to recover as much as you can in the downhill. Get some nutrients in again. And then prepare yourself for the next climb. So what you want to do in this downhill is try to pedal a little bit so the lactic acid gets out of your system and you are prepared once again, because what you don't want to do is let your feet just hanging down, because you will not be able to recover properly.
Here we are back with Rui Costa. Last KOM was for him Japan Cup Cycle 2023 and Vuelta 2023. Then back to 2020.
And his gap is at 28 seconds to Houillet Baptiste and Stüssi Colin. And then it is 1 minute 19 to the peloton. And let's see how much of a gap he can take out of this downhill. So as you can see on the road surface, it is a mountain road, and the riders do have to be very careful on this descent.
Nikolai Vinokurov, as we can see here, is also probably using now the momentum to catch maybe Rui Costa. Then he is also going for that mountain jersey. He is in second position in the virtual com classification, but if he is able to secure him the next horse category, there are more than 15 points added again on his back.
And we have a question, where is Paul Double? He should be behind Colin Stüssi and Baptiste Houillet, somewhere in between, or he is already swallowed by the peloton. We are not sure about that.
Here you can see the spicy downhill. Bit of flatter parts in it, and then they're coming towards a really, really steep one.
And the riders will try to keep it in their memory because they will have to climb up this part again in a few kilometers. So they will now see the finish climb, or the last climb of the day, and have kind of a recon of this climb.
Here you can see them one more time, those rails
Those
along
gathers.
the track, gathers, yeah. They are on their way to Ochsengarten. Nikola Svinokurov asking if those two are ahead in front of him.
So now he has to do some calculations if it is worth it to take the risk and try to bridge the gap in the downhill, or just wait for the peloton and surf.
Oh, he jumped it.
There's some fans of Emanuel Zangele. It was actually my parents there with the sign for
nice.
them. And Rui Costa already in the flat part towards Ochsengarten. So still some pedaling to do in the downhill. And now on the right, you can see where the riders will go downhill from the penultimate climb of the SATTELE. And that's where the roads separate. They go straight now into the ÖTZTAL Valley, but will come back from the right-hand side in about an hour.
Oh. Okay. We just have to rewind a bit because Vinokurov did an attack out of the peloton, which brought him in 4th position, which means he now took over the mountain jersey from Emanuel Zangele and is now in the virtual classification of the KOM in 1st place. It is now on them to close the gap to Rui Costa and Vinokurov. Have one minute. Have a 1 minute gap to Rui Costa and 40 seconds to Baptiste Douillet and Colin Stössi. So we are at Ochsengarten with the peloton. Leaving already Ochsengarten.
Colin Stössi and Baptiste Douillet sprinting out of every corner and trying to bridge the gap to Rui Costa in this downhill.
$34.5K to go. We are in a nearly 20K descent right now. Spicy descent, then it's going down a little bit more for another 10K with a gradient descent, and then we start with another spicy ascent. It is then the ÖTZTAL SATTELE, another Ors category, 9.7K. With more than 1,000 meters in elevation gain. But here we have an average gradient of 10.3%. Just to remember, we had 7% at the first category 3 in GÖTZENS, 6% at the Ors category Kühtai we've seen before, and now we're maxing then after that to 17.1%. But in total, the average of that 9.7K long climb is 10.3%. It is your former training's climb. You know probably every tree or leaf or I don't know whatsoever along that track. Would you mind taking us a little bit on that one while we enjoying those contenders racing towards that spicy one?
So once you go around the roundabout, you know it is going to be tough. So actually most of the climb is even steeper than 10% because it flattens off after the first 800 meters of climbing. So as you said, it's roughly 10K, 1,000 meters of climbing. And the Strava KOM is also set by Jack Berg, and it is 34.23 minutes.
And Jack Berg is well known for setting new Strava comms.
Yeah.
I guess Alpe d'Huez or yeah. Stilfsa, Passo Stelvio. So
this is a brutal climb, and you are not done once you are on top of the SATTELE climb. It is a brutal climb, and it is not fun if you are not in really, really good shape.
So here we have another speed limit of 60 km per hour. It would be nice to see how fast Rui Costa is in that part, and it is also amazing to see how well those two athletes, Stössi and Douillet, working together to closen that gap to Rui Costa. I wonder where Nicolas Vinokurov is right now, because he had a gap from 1 minute and 6 seconds to Costa. And now this is pretty much the first little village above ÖTZTAL, because we are now entering ÖTZTAL Valley with the village down there called ÖTZTAL. Then we stay a little bit in the flat I said for a few k's out of direction out of the ÖTZTAL before we turn right again up to the ÖTZTAL SATTELE.
And every rider living in that area knows how long they take to go up this climb, and now they have the chance to compare themselves to the pros of this year's Tour of Austria and see how well they would do against these riders.
And also the thing right now is that the peloton is not that far away anymore. And I guess they're aiming for that little gradient descent on the main road to catch, or to try to catch Rui Costa.
I don't think they will able to bridge the gap all the way, but they will narrow it down.
They narrow it down, yeah.
Towards the climb. And then we will see once they catch the first riders. If they manage to do so, maybe Rui Costa has still plenty of power left in his legs, but they will try to come back. And then it will be a last man standing race.
Oh, for sure, but Rui Costa is really, yeah, digging into the red right now. He's putting down some pure watts and for sure also willpower to have it to be that fast going down towards ÖTZTAL. We are nearly at the bottom of the descent. It's just one turn left here, and then we will see the roundabout in a few seconds popping up. Hopefully he knows that one's coming up, because he is damn fast for sure. Now we are down there at the roundabout. Hopefully everything went well here. Holy smokes, what a speed he is hammering here down. Always with the look back, calling the neutral supporter car in it. Or not his own car. EF education, easy post, and yeah, sure he don't need any layering anymore, because it's from that point on, it's just uphill. Three times winner of the Tour, the Swiss Rui Costa.
And the two chasers still in the downhill. So he managed to open up the gap even further.
Gaps out to 28 seconds. So now for them, for sure, it's also time to dig in pretty hard
and see how well they work together.
Merano of Northern Tyrol. Mild climate. You are a bit shaking your head
because we say that about my home village of Heiming. We call ourselves the Merano of the North.
Sölden, like I said before, not just famous for the ÖTZTAL Radmarathon. Also, a James Bond movie was filmed in that valley using that high alpine scenery. We are surely about to enter soon, and also the peloton is done with their spicy descent. And as I said, ÖTZTAL Rad Marathon, we also have an interview with Dominik Kuhn. He is the mastermind behind the ÖTZTAL Rad Marathon, and with Oliver Schwarz from the CEO of the Tourism Office ÖTZTAL.
ÖTZTALer Radmarathon meets Tour of Austria. Wie ist es denn heute zu diesem Gipfeltreffen gekommen?
Ja, ich glaube, wir haben uns überlegt, wie können wir den Event unterstützen, wie können wir unsere Passion mit dem Radmarathon, mit der Tour of Austria verbinden. Und ich glaube, dieser Social Ride, der hat funktioniert und das ist eigentlich das, für was wir leben. Und wenn das zusammenpasst, perfekt.
Dominik, wie ist die Stimmung hier oben im Kühtai?
Ja, super, ist richtig cool. Und wir haben jetzt heute geschaut, von Kühtai weg, von Ötz nach Kühtai. Alle 6 heimischen Radvereine dabei. Ist schon ganz cool, wenn sie alle mitsehen. Richtig cool.
Also man sieht, Radsport verbindet.
Radsport verbindet, das ÖTZTAL verbindet und ich glaube, das ist ein Perfect Match.
Perfect Match ist es auch mit euch und in Kürze geht es dann schon los mit dem ÖTZTALer Radmarathon. Die Uhr tickt.
Ja, die Uhr tickt, aber wir freuen uns, genauso wie sich die Teilnehmer vorbereiten, sind wir auch gerüstet. Spätestens am 31. August laden wir wieder ein in Sölden und genießen den Tag auf alle Fälle.
Dankeschön und wir sehen uns dann beim ÖTZTALer.
So the community ride worked out well, but we leave it with that here. They are more than happy to be up there, and all of the 6 local team clubs were invited to do there. And while we heard the interview of Dominik Kuhn and Oliver Schwarz, we have seen some problems with Colin Stüssi here.
Yeah, it looks like he cramped up and has cramps in his right leg. So huge problem for him in the flat. So he probably tucked down too much in the downhill, which led to these cramps. It can happen in long descents. Bad timing for him.
That's a pity for him. He put such a great effort in there, and now he's cramping up there. But we have again up here the gaps. 1 minute and 53 for the chasers and 2 minutes 12 to the peloton, which seems quite big.
And now Rui Costa is at the end of the ÖTZTAL Valley. So he will soon take a right turn, and then he will have only 4 kilometers of flatter section before he will start the climb up to SATTELE. And here we can see once again Colin Stüssi trying to loosen up his legs.
Baptiste Thuillier always looking back to his companion here on that fight towards Rui Costa, and as you can see, Colin Stüssi is talking to his team over the radio, and now it is
maybe asking for something salty and something with acid, like vinegar. That's what they use to loosen up cramps, but yeah, it is really the worst timing possible to have a cramp.
It's still looking unbelievable, amazing. Rui Costa.
And we have a question from Jose Maria if we think Baptiste has options to win today. I mean, he's looking strong. He came back really strong, but I think his gap to Rui Costa is more than a minute now.
And for sure also the peloton is pushing really hard, because they are going for the GC.
And once they start the climb, there will be no holding back. Team Vorarlberg waiting with the spare bike for Colin Stüssi. Maybe he wants to swap bikes at the side of the road. So it looks like his saddle was down a little bit. Maybe that's why he cramped up, but we don't know for sure.
That's your hometown right now. Team United Shipping next to the road with the huge supporter car and with the view back to the peloton. Nicolas Vinokurov got swapped in, got swallowed by them, and again Team UAE is again working their 8 ... off in that stage.
Matty Dodd still part of the peloton after being in the early breakaway. And Rui Costa should be close to the start of the climb now.
2 minutes 15:19 per
There he goes.
0.6, and there we go. It is the start of the horse category up to ÖTZTAL SATTELE. Throwing away unnecessary weight here. And it is, as I said, 9.7k long, maxing out to 17.1 and having an average of 10.3%.
And I can tell you there is no flatter parts in this climb.
What a beast. But there's no stopping here. There's no stopping.
Peloton in preparation of the same climb. $20k to the finish, but 20 brutal kilometers.
UAE is again riding hard. Team Vorarlberg, Jaco Elula, Lidl Trek also here.
Strong team composition.
Here we are. Also, they are at the start of the climb.
Patrick Gamper leading out Felix Engelhardt into this climb. The Jaco Alula squad still riding strong together and trying to match the strength of the UAE Team Emirates squad.
Felix Groschardt now also in the up front part of the peloton to find. You can saw him. Also Isaac Del Toro, which is also meant to be a perfect climb for him for sure. We have here Rafael Maika, we see Kovi, we see Baroncini. We have Stüssi right now there with number 96, is back in the peloton, got caught by them. Matty Dodd and Rui Costa is out there for some moments alone so far, and the question is for sure, is he able to keep it Is he able to stay out there for the next 18K? And as we looking onto the profile, there are not many red numbers in it.
Only black
Only
gradients.
black gradients up there.
So it now looks like Rui Costa is the only rider left in front of the peloton. Still looking strong, finding his rhythm to tackle this. I was always going to say beauty of a climb.
But now you can see the steepness already. And it is the task for UAE to close that gap, because Rui Costa is also in the general classification. He can use for sure that minute here, but in total not a deciding man for the GC, but on the paper it would look good if he can secure some or minimize some of his delay here on the Tour of Austria.
So we have a comment from Alpine Software Corporation. Thank you for the compliment on our coverage. And he's from the hometown of AJ August and Magnus Sheffield. So both really great and capable riders. And he is skiing and biking with AJ's dad. And he's asking what the odds are of him winning today. He has a fair chance, to say the least.
Sure. For sure, we've seen him yesterday with a good try right at the end of the Geisberg climb.
And we would love to see him up there going for the win today.
But there are some contenders having some problems with that for sure. But one is here providing an incredible performance, Rui Costa. And look at him, he is looking strong, 38 years old. 3 times winner of the Tour de Suisse. Grabbed some important KOMs at the big tours like Vuelta and some more.
And you can see Rui Costa was on the highest sprocket, so trying to push the easiest gear possible, which you don't see with the pros very often.
1:30 is the gap, and they're also hammering up to the ÖTZTAL. SATTELE.
Still 5 guys from the UAE team.
EF Education also up front to find Ineos. Still on the right hand part of the screen.
And some riders getting dropped at the lower part of the climb, which means they are putting a ferocious pace in front.
And also it is hard for some of the riders to keep the connection to the peloton. Now it is really a race deciding moment for sure for the chasers. Then 17.2k to go. I know a lot can happen in that 17.2 kilometers up there to the SATTELE, and we know it is more than 1,000 meters in elevation gain. And for sure, Rui Costa have to bring that home in his capabilities, but sometimes there is someone saying no, and that probably can be the body.
Yeah.
Leading up to Kühtai already, having there an amazing did there an amazing job, but that was also a pretty hard ascent in that horse category. But now that one is even harder.
Yeah, I think so too. And now he's close to the first small village of Höppberg. And now when he does the left turn, it will ramp up again. Throwing away bottles to the fans and taking in a new bottle. And now he maybe be able to see the peloton if he looks down.
38 years old, former world champion with tons of results in his vita, and here are the chasers, and look how small that peloton is already.
My legs are already burning just by looking at him,
yeah.
Because I know how steep this section is.
I'm getting more and more nervous by any second, passing by 2 hours and 40 minutes in the race. 16.8 to go, and Rui Costa looking smoothly into the camera, but he for sure knows what there is coming behind him. The train. The unstoppable train
Of the peloton.
With Ricky Zeudel, Hermann Bernsteiner. All those fantastic Austrian athletes are still in that peloton. Patrick Gamper, Felix Engelhardt from Germany. Everything is pretty much lined up. Filippo Baroncini, we see here. We see from Jaco Elula, Jul Jensen, Coop Repsol. So the World Tour teams are making things together with the Conti teams here, and that in an incredible manner.
Around 20 to 25 guys left in the peloton, I guess. And Rui Costa still in the front.
Still more than a minute. Still more than a minute. Höbereck passed. And also UAE. He's looking a bit with this. There's a bit of pain written in his face. But wouldn't it be different? It is one of the hardest climb on that Tour of Austria. And as you can see, saw it like shaking his head.
Gap is still at a minute, but they can see him in front. And try to narrow the gap down meter after meter.
Now it's also the moment where Ricky Zeudel has to pull it. Then we have Patrick Konrad here, Florian Vermersch from UAE also can't stand that high speed of his team colleagues, and also Rui Costa is always turning back. Maybe he is thinking, oh, I did an amazing job so far. Now it is time to just let them come here. But there is another 3-man strong group attacking right now Rui Costa.
Esteban Chavez taking over.
Rafael Michael is in it, and Jaco Elula. Is that the moment where that glorious ride from Rui Costa is now over? Is it Patrick Gamper or Felix Engelhardt?
Chris Juliansen, I guess.
It is Juliansen, yeah. Juliansen, Jaco Elula.
And now
Rafael Maika
tries to pull a little bit more for Esteban Chavez. His day is not done yet. Outstanding performance.
.30 seconds. The gap is here. Rui Costa pulled out. And here we have the next free breakaway in the breakaway group. UAE, EF Education, Easy Post, and Jaco Elula. 15.7 K to go. What a heartbeat final. What efforts they just put into that stage. And this is the test of threshold and mindset. Not just for the legs, it is a mental game.
And let's not forget, they're not even halfway through this climb.
They are all fully committed.
And the gap is
shrinking. It is shrinking, it is shrinking. And in it, Andrew August, Isaac Del Toro, Felix Groschartner, Luca Vergalito. All those big names are in that. Lennart Kemner, we've seen also in it.
Janis Peter in front of the peloton. For Team Vorarlberg, still looking strong.
Yeah, with Janis Peter. Isaac Del Toro here at the end of the peloton. Out of the saddle, dancing in the pedals, Rafael Maika and Esteban Chavez. Same like from Jaco Elula. It is
Elmose.
Elmos. Asbjørn Helmos. Or Elemose. Norwegian names are always hard to pronounce, but what is not hard to see him working like a mammoth here. Amazing. So now it is time for Aeneas to
pull in front.
Since
UAE have Micah in front. They are not putting the duty of the work here on themselves.
Asbjørn looking good. Looking strong still. 14.7 to go. We are halfway off that climb up to ÖTZTAL SATTELE. And I know I said it tons before, but just to remind you one more time, 10.3% in average gradient up there, maxing out to 17.1. It is not just a few meters of elevation gain. There are more than 1,000 meters of elevation gain to complete to get up there to the second horse category of that day, which means 15 points are on to catch.
And we are close to halfway through this climb, so still 500 meters of climbing left.
And look at that view here. Rafael Micah also out of the cell and looking back to the peloton, or not peloton anymore, to the chase groups we can see here, to the first chases, because it was ripped in half, that peloton here during that stage 4. "20 seconds of gap between them and the peloton." Heartbeat final is soon on for sure. And I wonder if we are able to see another attack here. I wonder if those 3 are able to bring that thing home, or is it the time for those athletes down there? It would be a huge surprise to see someone of the top contenders falling out of that chase group. That would be complete turnaround. I don't hope so. And I don't think so, but it would be a complete turn around here on that Queen stage of the Tour of Austria. Here we are looking definitely for the emperor of the Kühtai.
So now it's about to ramp up again once they leave the small village of Hausik. That's where the nastiest part of this climb is.
It would be nice to have a view from the back here to see if everyone from the top contenders is still in that chase group. 14k to go, 2 hours and 52 minutes already in the race. And they were predicted to be up there in the finish.
Around 2 o'clock.
Around 2 o'clock. Now we are at 2 o'clock. I guess the stats were lying here in that stage.
But they are still at an average of 36 kilometers per hour. Which for a training ride is already pretty fast if you just stay in the flat.
But to my shame, I have to say, I mainly use e-bike when I'm out there. So we also have another interview with top athlete, but in the winter, Franziska Gritsch.
Franziska, wie gefällt es dir bei der Tour of Austria?
Ja, es ist extrem cool, eine richtig lässige Stimmung und ja, also man sieht, wie sportbegeistert alle sein und vor allem jetzt heute hier in Kühtai, auch daheim im ÖTZTAL einmal dabei zu sein und was die Vorräder leisten, ist wirklich unglaublich.
Bist du schon mal raufgefahren mit dem Radl?
Ja, ich fahre da öfters rauf, auch zu Trainingszwecken. Einmal geht, zweimal geht für mich nicht.
Wie viel Watt bringst du da aufs Pedal?
Ja, grundsätzlich, wir machen einmal ist ja so ein Leistungstest eigentlich, ja, auch für die Belastung einfach und für die Sportfreigabe. Aber ich glaube, da bin ich um einiges weiter weg wie die Profis. Aber ja, unsere Stärken liegen ja auch irgendwo anders und so viel am Radl sitzen wir dann doch auch nicht.
Du genießt es heute einfach hier vom Tour of Austria Club zuzuschauen.
Ja, ich finde das extrem cool und ich versuche auch die Stimmung aufzusaugen, gibt mir selber natürlich auch wieder extrem viel Motivation, auch für die nächsten Radltouren und auch für das nächste Sommertraining. Und ich finde das einfach echt richtig beeindruckend. Ich verfolge es jetzt auch schon die letzten Tage vom Fernseher daheim. Und ja, ich bin generell sehr sportbegeistert und auch das Radlfahren interessiert mich sehr. Und von dem her finde ich es extrem cool, heute wirklich live dabei zu sein.
Danke dir.
So Franziska Gritsch is happy to be part here, using also the track up there as for training, but she just said she is far away from hammering it up there like the pros are doing it, but she doesn't know her strengths are not in summer sports, they are in winter sports. She is a skier and she is happy to be here and happy to enjoy the venue and the scenery, and we are more than happy to see those three guys now, all of them were out of the saddle and dancing their way up. It looked like dancing, but it is brutal, brutal, brutal work for those three top athletes. Elemos, Maika, Chavez.
So now they are in one of the steeper parts of the SATTELE climb. And afterwards, you can kind of say it gets a little less steep, to use the right words. And the peloton down to 15 people.
Down to 15 people here in it. Isaac Del Toro for sure in it. Andrew August in it. Felix Großschartner in it. Vetter in it. We have Kemna in it. So all those.
And I'm super happy to see my flatmate Felix Engelhardt still at the back of this bunch doing an incredible job today.
So the rockets are launched for sure to catch those three up front. 12.8 K to go. And we are nearly up to the ÖTZTAL SATTELE. Then we have a little descent, and then we start the last climb, which is also a category 1 climb, 5.9K, 428 meters in elevation gain, 7.1%. And we have just seen Leonard also from Aeneas in it. Michael Leonard.
Esteban Chavez, this guy from Colombia, still in front of this leading group. 3 times Giro d'Italia stage winner, 2 times Vuelta a España stage winner, and he was second in the GC of the Giro d'Italia in 2016. So he is also one of the strongest climbers in this Tour of Austria. Doing a lot of work in front. Now Asbjørn Hellemose
doing the leading work right now, but Esteban Chavez using the smaller radius of that turn or curve. Getting a bit flatter, then it's ramping up one more time. Oh, it's that SATTELE. This is the end of that brutal climb. To come, 15 points are up to catch, and they are on their way up here. Finish area one more time. Everything is getting prepared to welcome the Emperor of the Kühtai Rodeo 2025. The last time we had someone up there at the Kühtai was 2013. 2013 was the last time we have seen a winner on the Kühtai. It was Kevin Seldreyes representing Belgium, back in the days Astana Pro team, and he managed that one, the Kühtai Rodeo, ahead of Ricky Teudel. He was a second place there, and that was the base for his tour win 2013.
So now it's starting to ease off a bit, and they will try to build some more momentum to even go further away from the main contenders.
It would be nice to have a little timing, maybe 20 seconds, but 22k kilometers per hour fast they are right now.
Kemna now pulling in the GC contender group.
And there is a small gap building up there between those.
Oh, Großschartner losing the contention to the GC contenders.
Oh, he is up for some struggle here.
It doesn't look like somebody from the UAE team is waiting for him.
No,
and now
Isaac Del Toro is trying to close up that gap here.
He is not waiting for no one.
No, he is in a form of a lifetime. He is probably the most talented rider out there.
And now Engelhardt pushing in the front.
And now it is.
They want to.
It is a chess game on wheels right now.
Yeah.
It is a chess game on wheels. Del Toro looking back.
I think the other UAE rider was still waiting for Großschartner now.
40 seconds. 40 seconds is the gap here. That is a lot. That is a lot.
So we are into something really interesting now. Großschartner getting dropped from the main contenders is the biggest surprise we have seen so far today.
Isaac Del Toro is always looking back to his, let me say that, leader on the paper, Felix Großschartner. And now it is again Team Vorarlberg pushing in front.
Janis Peter.
And on his back wheel, Isaac Del Toro.
So he's not upping the pace, Isaac Del Toro, but he's also not waiting for no one.
He is on the hunt to get the third stage win in the fourth stage of the Tour of Austria. He is probably the predicted overall winner, and with that, with Felix Großschartner dropping here on that climb up to ÖTZTAL SATTELE, and remembering the gap between those two at the start of the stage was just 5 seconds or 6 seconds, not more. He is right now probably leading that virtual GC.
And now he attacks.
Here we are.
Now he attacks. 1,000 meters to the top of this climb, and Isaac Del Toro decides now it's time to go.
But he got followed by two of EF Education, Easy Post, and then we have a counter attack. Probably not now. They're just waiting. They're doing things together.
I mean, they both have a rider in front. Hui, ui, 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 ui.
Ui, ui, ui. That is one of a kind here.
And with Rafael Maika in front, Del Toro will have
someone to help him.
Yeah. They're starting to look behind. Let's see how big the gap is.
Archie Ryan is probably one of EF following Isaac Del Toro.
.500 meters to
the KOM.
So now it's almost flat.
Asbjørn Ellemons is not happy with Esteban Chavez.
But the two of them will probably wait for their leaders today. And only Hellemose will be on his own probably. Let's see if Engelhardt can still manage to go over this climb. 10 kilometers to go to the finish line.
Lennart Kemner also in it with Isaac Del Toro, and here we are. Now it is Archie Ryan. Archie did an amazing job also at the Porsche back, and what the heck is Isaac Del Toro doing there, playing with?
He's trying to get rid of him before they close the gap. And now they will enter the small downhill section before it's our last category 1 climb up to Kühtai again.
And waiting until Felix Großschartner here. And now they are in the downhill.
Last time to take a breath and relax.
Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that leading group. It's not a breakaway anymore, I can say that. It is.
And 4 chasers.
4 chasers. And in it is Isaac Del Toro, Lennart Kemner, Asbjørn Ellemose, Esteban Chavez, Archie Ryan,
So they are almost down in Oxengarden again. If you remember That's where they descended earlier today.
yeah.
And now they are back into the climb. It will start with a flatter
There's
part.
another breakaway try here. There is another breakaway try. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is going to be... that was a good try. It was a good try, but now...
Now it's flat, so it's harder for them to get away. Before they enter the Stopfer climb in this small tunnel, which is going to be extremely steep.
What is happening here? What is happening right now?
6 guys in the front. Where are our chasers?
Lining up, using that flat part to... Here we are with another 2. So we are right now with 8
riders.
8 riders up front here on the last 7.6K. Now, who is that person got enough strength in their legs to start another attack? It is full gas now. No second thoughts from them. Janis Peter, yes. He is at the 7th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are 11 headstrong. Wow.
Now it's Ryan Archie pulling in front.
Yeah, Archie. Archie is also a pretty capable contender to Del Toro, Isaac Del Toro, for sure. But we have 2 from, so we do have 2 from Jaco right now. We have 2 from EF. We have 1 from Alpecin, Luca Vergalito. Little Trek also in it. Lennart Kemna.
And now the KOM for this very last part of today's stage is starting now with the Stopfer climb. Super steep one. Felix Engelhardt pulling in the front. And now looks like Micah is taking over.
Micah is taking over, yes. That Stopfer climb is also one of a kind here.
18.5% max gradient. It is like facing a wall. Großschartner left behind. Hermann Pernsteiner trying to help him.
Yeah. He is at the very start of that Stopfer climb, start of the KOM. $6K to go, and we have here another gap. 4 of them are left behind on that Stopfer climb. Janis Peter. We have Vergalotti.
Helmose and Kemna.
Kemna. .8. Fabi, your predictions here. Now it is time to probably set a good one. Raphael Maika is doing, again, an incredible job. Got followed by 2 of EF Education Easy Post. Felix Gorschartner is probably out of that deciding...
I'm sorry, but I am rooting for Felix Engelhardt now. He is my flatmate. I'm training every day with him. There is nobody else I can root for now. I'm sorry.
And we have them. Esteban Chavez.
But no matter the outcome, we are into something incredible here.
Yeah, Archie Ryan.
So it's 2 UAE, Team Emirates,
2
riders
EF.
against 2 EF and Felix Engelhardt from J. Kuala.
And those 4 are dropped.
But we will have some flatter parts in between climbing the dam walls of the Kühtai water electricity area. And in between those flat sections, they cannot allow themselves to have standstills and do too much of tactical work here. I am getting goosebumps already.
Unbelievable.
And if you could see into our commentator booth now, you would see the 2 of us strangled to this screen. We are waiting for the first attack to go.
We have 4 of them together. One is...
I think Chavez is having slight problems now, following the pace. Having done some work earlier.
And no...
Yes, Chavez.
Yes, Chavez, Esteban Chavez. And as you can see...
But now it eases off. Maybe he can try to come back a little bit.
He is trying hard, for sure. And we have the finish sign, 5K to go. Esteban Chavez made it back to those 4 athletes up front. Felix Engelhardt is trying to let Raphael Maika now do the work. And here is Kemna.
With Helemos.
With Helemos. Working there as of to close that gap here. And if those are together again, when it comes up to the Kühtai, we know it is a pretty steep part up to the finish area, but it is for sure open for some punchy hill sprint that we maybe can see Isaac Del Toro here in the middle with the green and white jersey sitting in a bit and letting Raphael Maika do the work. But also Raphael Maika is a mountain climbing expert and also stage hunter. Also he is capable of bringing that one home for UAE, which would mean another UAE victory at that Tour of Austria. But you are shaking your head. You're always
there. All of them are in pairs, and Felix is on his own. I mean, he should not do this amount of work now. He should let the other guys do their work.
4,000 meters. 4,000 meters, and we are still having 300 meters of elevation gain to go.
Maika still talking to Del Toro.
Del Toro is in the zone for sure. And Micah again, the super domestique.
And there we can see at the top of the screen, Kemna and Hellemose
are trying to closing that gap. Approximately 60 to 70 meters gap between them.
And then Janis Peter chasing too.
I wonder when there is that point of that incredible finish where some of those top athletes try to start, or not try, start the attack up to the Kühtai. It is not that far anymore. It is 3.6k to go, and we are nearly under 200 meters of elevation gain. And here we can see Felix Großschartner is getting pulled in by Piotr Pekala from ATT Investments, trying really to narrowing the gap here in the GC. But this battle, which we see right now on the screen, this is something completely different, completely new, and it is just the waiting game. It is just the waiting game. When is that moment where an Del Toro or Rhein try to pull something on them?
Don't forget about Felix. Don't forget about Felix.
But he has a pretty tough task for sure. He thought that Elemos is sticking with him, but Elemos is here with Kemna, and they can see them also up front here. It is not that much. It is not that much, but maybe enough to not make it, to get them back here. Hermann Bernsteiner here also coming from mountain bike races, used to go uphill pretty steep here, and also putting on again a great effort into that race. Archie Wright. $2.8k to go. And we have Esteban Chavez here pulling out of that huge base. They are hammering onto the surface up to the Kühtai. 2 turns, then they are able to see the finish already. It's that one and another one, and then it is a straight view up to the Kühtai. No more turns, no more curves, no more any other distractions, just straight ahead up. Jaco dropped here, Felix Engelhardt.
So now, after this turn, it will ease off a little bit, so they will ride along this artificial lake around the dam, and then it will ramp up once again. So if they are doing tactical games, which I don't think Rafael Majka will be up to, he will try to keep the pace up so nobody can come back, because it's 2 against 1 now.
Majka, Del Toro, Rhein. Those are the 3 in the lead. It is the final phase. It is the hottest part of that 4th stage. 2 UAE riders against 1 EF Education Easy Post. 3 hours and 23 minutes, 2.2 kilometers. It was in total 3,500 meters in elevation gain and 117.3 K. 2 horse categories, one category 1, one category 3. And now it comes all to an end up there at the Kühtai.
Del Toro already down in the drops, so he's just waiting for himself to go. That's the penultimate short little climb before another very short flat section, and then we will have the final part of this climb. The decisive moment just in a few seconds.
Del Toro glued to the back wheel of Rhein. 1,000 meter. Then we have a com. Here it is then the Kühtai BERGBAHNEN com. The last com of today, and then it's up for the finish. Grabbing another 12 points here, but that points are irrelevant for those 3 top contenders there.
And now they can see the finish line.
They can see the finish line already. It's easing a bit, and then it's ramping up one more time. That's the camera from the finish here, and Flamme Rouge. And now it is
now
on.
or never.
Now or never. It is on. Who has the bigger breath? Who has the bigger legs? Who is able to put down their head and hammering up there to the finish line? Is it Rhein, or is it Del Toro, or is it Micah, who made an incredible job here?
He did so much work for Isaac Del Toro. And now it is Del Toro's time to pay him back by going for the win. So at any moment now, he will try to go.
800 meters, 800 meters. They are all 3 capable of crowning themselves up at the Kühtai. Archie Ryan looking good, looking really good. Micah is dancing on the pedals out of the saddle, and they're pretty much in the red zone right now. They're putting down tons of watts, and as you can see here, it is narrowing. The street is narrowing. Tons of spectators here, while they are soon reaching
the top.
That calm. And it is Tour de France vibes. Is it Micah who is about to pull that finish? Come for them, 400 meters to go. Rafa always looking back, and now it is again that waiting game. Playing chess on a bicycle. It is amazing. Who is it? Now it will be time for Del Toro to snap, or is it Ryan Archie? Ryan Archie is waiting. Ryan Archie is waiting for Del Toro to start something. Now it is. Is it Del Toro? Yeah, Del Toro is here up. Ryan Archie trying to get him a little bit back, but that was a moment he nearly missed here. Another big stage win for Isaac Del Toro here at the fourth stage of the Tour of Austria. And Archie Ryan in second position. Another amazing job by the athlete from EF Education Easy Post, and heads up to Rafael Micah. Super domestique one more time here. And now the first 3 are in the finish area, and this is Jaco Elula, Felix Engelhardt securing the 4th place here at the Kühtai. Lennart Kemna also here, and Esteban Chavez in 5th position. That was again, yeah.
We expected fireworks and we got none less. Helmose completely empty.
Completely done.
Kemner.
Lennart Kemner, yeah.
And now it's waiting time for Felix Großschartner. How much did he lose today? Wow.
Oh, Del Toro again.
Incredible race by Janis Peter for Team Vorarlberg. Hats off to him.
And here we have Andrew August back in the finish. So Del Toro. Unbelievable.
What a ride.
Archie Ryan, incredible strong. Probably missed a bit the momentum or missed a bit the timing there, but he is also a top, contender to Del Toro.
We've seen incredible performances. I mean, UAE were controlling the race for the whole day, and everybody knew they were setting something up. EF responded really well. Jaco did an amazing job.
Hermann Bernsteiner. But also, we just have to say again, Raphael Maika. Incredible. Incredible work for the team. Incredible work for Del Toro. So we have it.
And
Luca Vegalotti in 9th position. Here we have Felix Großschartner on the way up to the finish. It was probably not the day for him. The pace too high. The other competitors too strong, and unfortunately also lost here his red leading jersey. Yeah, would it be any different? UAE just had to win that.
I mean, they came
stage
to this tour of Austria with an incredible lineup. I mean,
it is amazing.
Hats off to them.
Three hours and 27.20 seconds. Overall for Isaac Del Toro. 4 seconds behind Archie Ryan from Ireland. Then Raphael Maika, 6 seconds. Felix Engelhardt on 4th, on 5th position. Esteban Chavez, 6th. Esbjörn Hellemose, 7. Lennart Kemner, 8. Janis Peter, 9. Luca Vergalito, and in 10th position, Andrew August. Top 10 stage classification of stage 4. And now we have the general classification. Isaac Del Toro tomorrow in the red jersey at the final stage. Archie Ryan, 29 seconds behind. Raphael Maika, 47 seconds behind. Those are the top 3 in the GC right now. But it's not decided yet. Everything can happen tomorrow at the final stage in Vorarlberg Feldkirch. Also here we do have some spicy uphills to the Foucault up, and also we are having there 3,388 meters in elevation gain, 144.1 K to complete at the final stage. In total, complete tour, 14,000 meters in elevation gain and 713K. Here, the finish again. Isaac Del Toro.
Yeah, we are into a real treat tomorrow for the final. In Vorarlberg, we start and finish in Feldkirch with the Furka-Joch, Faschina-Joch. So it will be another tight battle for the GC. And
wow. I guess it was an amazing day.
it was.
It was unbelievable, strong by all the athletes. Rui Costa with an incredible KOM up to the Kühtai from the Inntal with a perfect descent and then got caught up to the ÖTZTAL SATTELE. He made an amazing job there.
Wow.
Yeah, and for us it is slowly but surely time to say goodbye to all of you guys watching the English stream here, watching the Tour of Austria. It was again an amazing day for us commentating that tour, and tomorrow we are back with Feldkirch, and now it's going on with the Tour of Austria Club. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.